Why does the other lane always seem to be moving faster? It is a question you have no doubt asked yourself while crawling down some choked highway, watching with mounting frustration as the adjacent cars glide ahead. You drum the wheel with your fingers. You change the radio station. You try to figure out what that weird button next to the rear window defroster actually does. I used to think this was just part of the natural randomness of the highway. Sometimes fate would steer me into the faster lane. Sometimes it would relinquish me to the slow lane. That was until I had an experience that made me rethink my traditionally passive outlook on the road and upset the careful set of assumptions that had always guided my behavior in traffic. I made a major lifestyle change. I became a late merger. Chances are, at some point you found yourself driving along the highway when a sign announces that the left lane, in which you are traveling, will close 1 mile ahead, and that you must merge right. You notice an opening in the right lane and quickly move over, happy to be safely ensconced in the lane that will not end. Then, as the lane creeps to a slow halt, you notice that cars in the lane you have vacated are continuing to speed ahead, out of sight. You quietly seethe and contemplate returning to the much faster left lane. If only you could work an opening. You grimly accept your condition. One day, not long ago, I had an epiphany on the New Jersey Turnpike. I was having a typical white-knuckle drive among the scenic oil storage depots and chemical processing plants of northern Jersey when suddenly, on the approach to the Pulaski Skyway, the sign loomed. Lane ends 1 mile. Merge right. Seized by some rash impulse, I avoided the instinctual tickle at the back of my brain telling me to get in the already crowded right lane. Just do what the sign says, that voice usually counsels. Instead, I listened to another, more insistent voice. Don't be a sucker. You can do better. I plowed purposefully ahead. After passing dozens of cars, I made it to the bottleneck point where, filled with newfound swagger, I took my rightful turn in the small alternating zipper merge that had formed. I merged, and it was clear asphalt ahead. In the days after, a creeping guilt and confusion took hold. Was I wrong to have done this? Or had I been doing it wrong all my life? I posted an anonymous inquiry on Ask Metafilter, a website one can visit to tap into the hive mind of an anonymous audience of overeducated and overopinionated geeks. Why should one lane move faster than the other, I wanted to know. And why are people rewarded for merging at the last possible moment? And was my new lifestyle, that of the late merger, somehow deviant? I was startled by the torrent of responses. What struck me most was the passion and conviction with which people argued their various cases, and the fact that while many people seemed to think I was wrong, almost as many seemed to think I was right. I had stumbled into a gaping divide of irreconcilable belief. The first camp, let us name it after the bumper sticker that says, "Practice random acts of kindness," viewed early mergers as virtuous souls doing the right thing and late mergers as arrogant louts. Unfortunately, people suck, wrote one Random Acts poster. They'll try whatever they can to pass you, to better enjoy the traffic jam from a few car lengths ahead of you. People who feel that they have more pressing concerns and are generally more important than you will keep going, and some weak-spined schmuck will let them in further down, slowing your progress even more. This sucks. I'm afraid it's the way of the world. Another camp, the minority camp, let's call them Live Free or Die, after the license plate motto of the state of New Hampshire, argued that the late mergers were quite rationally utilizing the highway's maximum capacity, thus making life better for everyone. In their view, the other group's attempts toward politeness and fairness were actually detrimental to all. I even found someone claiming to have had a conversion experience exactly the opposite of mine. Until very recently, I was a late merger, wrote the author, an executive with a software company. Why had he become a born-again early merger? Because I came to realize that traffic flowed faster the sooner people merged. He used this as a metaphor for successful team building in corporate America, in which late mergers were those who consistently put their own opinions and motives above the greater company. Early mergers, he wrote, could help push companies to their maximum communal speed. But did traffic flow faster when people merged sooner? Or did it just seem more noble to think that it did?